I'm gonna lose my mind.
We have a resident.
Suction! Ratchet noises means I'm helping. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Watch the paint. Watch the paint. It does burnouts, I'm telling you. That's a lot of white smoke. Woohoo! And this is where she'll sit for the next 9 years. Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dirtnation Off-Road. So today, we're hoping to bring you an episode full of joy and wonder and good happy endings. As you can see, I got Winchers behind me. Now, Winchers, on a previous Dirt Nation takeover video, we blew the head gasket on the way to the trail. It was kind of epic, but also kind of epic fail. But what we're gonna be doing today is a motor swap. So that over there is a, what is this, a 96 4Runner? Yeah. We got a 96 4Runner. We'll be pulling the 3.4 motor out of there and throw it in Winchers and hoping it works. But this thing's been sitting for how many years? How many years, Fernando?
Decade.
Say hi to Fernando, by the way.
Good morning.
This thing's been sitting for decades. It's only been out for decades. But we're doing the infamous 3-point slow to a 3.4 swap. It's mostly an easy swap. Now, lucky me, I have the absolute worst vehicle that you could do this with. Automatic transmission and the 1988. It makes things a little bit harder with wiring and some things with 4-low and blah, blah, blah. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna run into those issues along the way. But the goal is get this thing swapped over this weekend, maybe get it running, and then we'll slowly work at it, get the vehicle running better so that we can start beating up this a little bit more and the Tacoma a little bit less. Because we know you guys love me watching beat up stuff, so. All right, let's get to it. All right, so here's our donor. As I said, 96 4Runner, two-wheel drive, I believe. Two-wheel drive, right?
It runs. It runs. You start it up.
Let's do the reveal. Let's see how it looks. Oh, yeah. Dare we say barn find, junkyard find? Look at what's going on in here. We have a resident. We're about to ruin somebody's house. Oh, man. We're gonna have a good time today, boys.
Can we kill that thing?
What do you do to you? I mean, the intake manifold looks nice if you clean it. Like,
one of his brothers
I'm sure that'll be fine. Look who showed up.
This is just like took it out of the main.
What up? He actually showed up.
Where's
all right. Where's Flacco though? Where is Flacco?
You know where Flacco's at.
Flacco failed. You failed today, bro. Got work to do. Here is the wonderful 3.0 that we're pulling out, and then we're mounting it in a boat. And then the radiator. Look at the dirty bitch. These guys already got half the motor out.
Hey, let's show them ours.
Good job.
They got the hood off.
We got the hood off. Hey, what are you guys doing? We got the hood off.
We already have done for
I know. Hey, look at the battery sideways. Send it. We're gonna try and fire up before we take it out.
Done that.
Yeah, Slim's here. Everyone say hi to Slim.
You even brought my shirt.
Dude, Slim's rocking the shirt.
Hey.
Hope for the best, David. Good vibes. Good vibes. Sure.
Fired up. Did you hear that knock? That thing's like a rod knock. Yeah.
Send it. We're good. Yep. We're good to go. We gotta use leverage here.
I would have taken off the body by now and what I done my
yeah, if it was Slim, bro, you would have had all 4 tires, the wheels.
On this body, on that body.
Yeah, we're done. And he would have had everything else sold. Look at me. Look at me. I'm not useless. I'm not useless.
And Dustin's done for the day.
All right, I've done my part. Thanks, Mom. Thanks. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. It's gonna fall off of there.
These are made.
All right, so it looks like the professionals over here are about to take Winchers motor out. done. We're still trying to figure out how to take the 114 bolt out.
Shut up.
Which one?
Look at the hair, it's nice.
A motor mount one?
So what are you doing over here?
I'm getting the ECU out. Hopefully this one works. We're supposed to get a T100 ECU, allegedly, because we're swapping an automatic. All right, making moves.
Oh my God, it's working. Take note, Harbor Freight saves the day. Not like Corvo over here.
You're jacking up the truck though.
You know I'm driving though. I'm gonna drive it first. I gotta make sure I drive it before you break it.
Yeah. I mean, let me drive around the block.
Hey, hold on. What about the exhaust?
Motor's coming out. The trash bag motor.
Jumping in the motor.
Don't break shit, dude.
That's our mentality.
Clean up the quarter of mine.
What you say, motherfucker?
Yeah, dude, he's got that baritone
He
voice.
does.
Hey, hit me with some Elvis. Hit me with some Elvis.
Alright, can you,
Maybe we should extend it to damn boom.
Yeah.
yeah,
Give me that big finger.
Give me the Elvis.
Fernando, hit me with some Elvis, bro. I want to hear that baritone.
My name's Wero.
We gotta repurpose this engine to like open a gate or something.
Hold on, I gotta top off the coolant.
Yeah, blow ahead. Seaway. Woo!
This wasn't Toyota's finest, proudest moment right here.
This is a terrible motor. All right, well, Winchers motor is out. We're gonna take a lunch break and then we're gonna pull the motor out of the 4Runner. But we're clean. This transmission, hopefully that doesn't blow, but there's Winchers motor right there. Look at that. Send it. All right, back from lunch. The horchata shake is almost done.
Is that a fucking part of a bukkake or something?
Wow. Wow.
This was supposed to be a PG-13 swap.
Any whore. We gotta put that oil pan on that motor after we pull it out.
Wait a minute.
Slim fucking jokester right now.
He's funny guy Slim.
Fucking jokester now. He's LOL Slim.
LMAO, fool.
LMAO Slim.
Toes.
3.4 is out.
Drop it a little bit so it doesn't fucking.
All right, making some progress. We got rid of that dirty ass motor. We got a clean one. This one's brand new. This is a junkyard find. She's backwards, fool.
Brand new 0
No,
mile.
that's the front, huh?
Where's the...
Never mind.
You dumbass, bro.
Go get the towels. Go get the towels. Slim got me good.
A few inches later.
All right, so we are on the next day. Want to give you guys a quick update on where we are with the 3.4 swap. Motor's in. That's pretty much it. Motor's in. No plumbing, no wiring, fuel, electrical, all that stuff still needs to be taken care of. And my pressure washer's making noises. But here we are so far. So the 3.4 is in. Currently covered in degreaser because I'm gonna spray the crap out of it, trying to clean it up, and then I got some other stuff laid out. Here is the old 3-point slow. So I decided to take it home. Also super swapper for the win, but took the old motor because there's a couple things I got to take off here today. So gonna need the alternator. This is a brand new one, and you're supposed to, I believe, use the 3.0 alternator for the swap. And then I'm going to use the fan clutch because the fan clutch is brand new, and then I like this fan better because it has a fan shroud built in compared to the other one. And then after that, I'm just going to start parting out this motor or selling it or doing whatever. And then I have the old transmission that I'm going to sell. Going to use the radiator from the 3.0, which this one I also have to clean it off, get all the mud off of it. I have all the AC parts. Don't know if I'm going to use AC parts. And then we have issues with exhaust, wiring. The passenger door on Winchers won't open for some reason. That's another problem. But today what my goal is, maybe do the spark plugs, obviously clean up the engine a little bit, and then I bought some belts. So I'm gonna take care of these two belts for the alternator and the power steering, put the other alternator on there, and then just starting to connect stuff that I know how to connect. Obviously, you guys know I am not a master mechanic. I am a very amateur YouTube mechanic. So I'm gonna need some friends to help me get all this stuff taken care of, but we're gonna get to it. I didn't know my valve covers were silver. Okay, that's about it for now. What I was able to get done today is I put the alternator from the 3.0 motor. That mounted in no problem. Connections are still there. Still have to figure out wiring stuff, but that's bolted in. New belt. And then over here, got a new belt with the power steering, and I put the fan clutch on. And then just got the motor a little bit more cleaned up. Took off some AC lines that I know I'm not going to use, at least not right now. I mean, if we do AC, cool. If not, I mean, right now I'm just worried about it getting it running. But looking at some other things, but it's starting to look a lot better. So we'll continue this throughout the week, and we're a couple weeks after the fact. This 3.4 swap is taking a little longer than I'd like, but we're making progress, and progress is important. In the middle of not knowing how to wire all this, we decided to do a whole rebuild. So Mr. Marky Mark over here is helping me out. So we're doing the timing belt. We're doing
Cleaning the injectors.
Cleaning the injectors, because I didn't buy injectors, but we're doing valve covers, spark plugs, some of the wiring, and I'm going to clean up the intake gasket, or the intake manifold, those both pieces. And then I'm already started cleaning these up a little bit. They were all covered in gunk, but we're going to get those all cleaned up. So they're going to look nice and pretty. So you guys are going to think that this is a brand new engine when it's an engine with 300,000 miles on it. But it'll run good, and that's what matters. Make it happen, boys. Hey, what are we doing this with? Show them, show them. A funnel and a vacuum. Fucking life hack right there. All right, well, you guys tell me, how bad is that? How bad is that?
Nasty.
That's a potential problem. Yeah, in the meantime, Flaco came over. Flaco, Mark, the sheriff. Look at it. Hazmat man over here. It's like a dentist. It's like a dentist. Suction! Suction! Gargle! Spit on it! In the midst of doing the timing belt and everything, we're also doing that. These are all cleaned up. I was going to paint them pink, but it didn't really work out. But we're going to continue on it the rest of today, and then tomorrow, and then however long it takes to do the rest of it. This is the progress. We replaced it with the whole brand new block.
Level.
A new block. Just kidding, I was just painting. Gang. Sheriff's showing off because he speaks Spanish. Spanish.
Hey, low key way.
Essential. No, you're not. You're essential to me.
No, dude, those.
All right, we're putting this thing back together. We put the orange stuff, the rust sealant, the oranges. It's coming together nicely. Just gotta get this idler pulley out, or not idler. What is this called again?
Harmonic balancer.
Harmonic balancer off. Get that off. Finish the timing, and then it should fire right up.
Hopefully.
Who needs everything else? Never-ending project.
When all you motherfuckers are staying home, not turning on any TV. Nobody gets to watch TV because we're unessential.
Yep. Well, technically, we got
I have to edit out the rust.
He's the character.
not Hulu.
Oh, you don't have a 19?
Huh?
You don't have a 19?
In the bag, yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of Winchers is Never Gonna Run. That's the theme of this channel. We've used it twice. Actually, one and a tenth, because we went mudding with it. Broke the front axle. Huh?
Give it a shot. Ow, bitch. Fucked up my hand.
And he's never gonna use that finger again.
Ooh.
Yeah, I see it.
I'm get ready to grab it.
How hard is that thing gonna be to put back on?
Not hard.
Not hard.
You lube it and all that, clean it up, it'll slide back on.
Wow, that was the wrong pulley.
There's no pulleys left. The bolt's in there.
Yeah, we gotta take.
That's in there still. We are continuing to work on Winchers. You know, we're pretty much where we left off last time. What I'm gonna try and get done today is put the radiator back in, kind of get some other things here and there that aren't plugged in, like some of this stuff, the cylinders. I'm gonna put some oil in it because it doesn't have oil in it currently. Also gonna try and get the fuse box hooked hooked up, and then we did get a T100 ECU like we're supposed to. Okay, that's closed. Also has some work to do inside here. Dash is torn apart. Don't ask me why. Somebody else did that. But we got the T100 ECU. This is what you're supposed to have for the 3.4 swap. So we're gonna hook up all this stuff inside here. Probably not gonna get a battery hooked up or anything because I still gotta do fuel lines. That's something that I'll need help with. But everything else, I'm gonna keep chugging away at it. Hopefully get somewhere today. We're gonna get these suckers hooked back up. We'll find out how our makeshift pan job did based off this right here. So everybody pray. All right, that's 5 quarts in. I think this engine holds about 6. So 5 will do for now. Grab another quart when we have to. That 10W30 O'Reilly Special. There's a connection for that. What are these connections? So that's something that I have to figure out. Two. Well, welcome back to another day of working on Winchers with Smooth Brain Dustin. You know I'm Smooth Brain because I'm wearing the glasses. So, we're a couple months into the Winchers build, doing our thing. Just been really busy with the channel. You guys have seen all the stuff going on. You know, getting the Tacoma nice and taken care of. We got re-gears, we got new tires, front ends, front bumpers, rear bumpers, all that stuff. No excuses. We got a lot of work to do with Winchers, and we're doing some more today because it's not very hot. But this is where we're at right now. Got battery connections, they're already ready to go. Got the ground, a couple of the grounds going. I'm gonna do some simple wiring. So I gotta wire up the fuse box, gonna wire up the starter, gonna wire up some other things that I know how to wire up. Got upper radiator hose taken care of. But it's just a lot of details at this point. Lower radiator hose is gonna be taken care of really soon. ECU is already wired up. I got to do the ECU to the body harness. That's got to be taken care of. And then I finally figured out what all this is. This is all your transmission line or your transmission electronics. So I'm going to make sure to get down there, get all that connected, whatever I can get connected, wire up whatever I can get wired up. And then we're not going to fire up today. That's for sure. But we're going to get a lot closer. I can promise you that. So it's going to be a fun one. You guys enjoy the show. There it is. Now it stops. They're just gonna crimp this motherfucker. Use one of these. I got it from Home Depot. No, Walmart. Home Depot. What am I fucking kidding? I got the starter hooked up. I'm gonna attempt to crank this over. Now, only fuel's working, nothing else is. But that's okay. Tell me when you're cranking. Are you cranking?
Want me to right now?
Yeah. We have fucking life in this bitch! Woo! Starter works. This is the starter. This is the starter wire. Okay, we have life. Yes. Oh, that's scary. I stopped to hook up the ECU to the body harness so we can control fuel because right now it's not getting fuel, but we cranked the motor. Yeah. Yes. And as you guys saw, it did turn this. It did turn that. So we have a little sign of life. That makes me very happy. All right. Okay, we are all finished for the day. What did we get done today? We wired up the fuse box, we wired up the starter, and then we wired up, so you're supposed to change your oil gauge thingamabobber, oil pressure regulator. It's down here. I changed the wire, but I hadn't changed the thing yet because I need to get the tool to pull it out. Put the radiator hose back, put it on, put the fan on the fan clutch, you know, hooked up some of this right here, and then I already have my grounds done. I have positive. You guys saw we did get it to turn over, but we still have to take care of some stuff inside. So the issue that I'm running into right now is I got to get the other plug for the ECU. So this is the 3 plugs that go into the engine, and then this is the body harness. And I either got to get a conversion or I got to figure out how to wire this so that I can put it into this last plug for the ECU, and that'll give all this stuff control over the fuel injection, the fuel, the freaking spark, pretty much everything else that I need, because I can get it to turn over, but we can't get it to start because we're still waiting for all that stuff. But pretty much besides that, fuel's also done. We have the fuel, the main line for fuel, the return line, and then this, you know, we got some other little details here and there to do. But we are getting very, very close. That's it for today. Hopefully we get this thing fired up in the next week or two. And then we can take her to Cleghorn because we haven't been there before. It'd be nice. Toodles.
One eternity later.
Starting Winchers, open headers. Let's get it.
Bad idea, by the way.
That's a start. All right, one more time. Do it one more time. One more time. It works. Well, hello and welcome back. It's been some time. We've been in the process of shooting and recording this video for now 9 months. Pretty long time to record a video, but then again, we took on a very, very big project in the form of this motor swap. Now, for the past 4 or 5 months or so, we've had an incredible heat wave in California, which has made it nearly impossible to work on this truck. So she just sat in my garage for a long time, and I would regularly reference her in regular videos talking about, oh, if Winchers ever gets finished, blah blah blah. Well, we're getting on the process and on the road to getting her finished. Now, just to do a quick update, show you guys where we are with the process. Now, you just saw the clip of us firing up the motor. We got it to turn over, got it to fire. It ran for like no amount of time, and then it just turned off. So that brings us to where we are right now. This is a motor that it is wired up, it'll turn over and it'll fire, but we have some work to do, and we have quite a bit of work to do, honestly. You know, got the battery set up, got some grounds hooked up, motor's obviously bolted to the transmission, we got fuel. For the most part, as far as I know, we have spark, and then we have some plumbing work to do, and then we have obviously vacuum lines, intake, and everything in between. Now, the thing that hung us up for a long time was wiring. Now, wiring turned into this project that it was just way out of my league. I mean, I'm a YouTube mechanic, very new to this stuff. Suspension work, sure, I could try it. Engine work, I'm willing to try it, but something like electronics, way out of my league. So I needed to enlist myself with some help, which I was able to find somebody on Instagram. His name's Michael. I'm going to link all his stuff below. You may see him before the video ends because there's more work to do, obviously, and I may need his help with that. But Mike, who is an owner of a fabrication company, as well as he does side work. He's a professional mechanic, so he knows exactly what he's doing, and he has his own sick-ass 85 runner that he put a 3.4 in, and he wired up and everything, which is why he was able to help us with this. So he took care of all the wiring So as of right now, it's wired, starter works, everything like that. Now it's just all the other parts I have to get taken care of. So that's what we're going to get started on right now. Today I'm going to be working on the intake as well as some of the vacuum lines and some other things like that. Now the goal for me to be, you know, by the end of the, maybe by the end of the week or even today, see if I can get it to fire up and at least idle for a little bit and then continue to go from there. But enjoy the show, guys. This is gonna be a lot of fun. Long time this video's been waiting for this for a while, so I'm glad we have some progress. Can't wait to show you guys more to come. Let's get it. Hi, welcome to GoPro footage. Now we're gonna get started with something big no-no, big boo-boo on my part, and that's all the way down here. I don't know how well you guys can see it. I'll move some stuff out of the way, but you see that blue chilling in there? That is a valve cover gasket that it looks like I put on the wrong way. So I gotta loosen that and hopefully straighten it out without having to take the whole goddamn thing apart. But we'll see. So that's what I'm gonna get started on right now. I'm not gonna show you the actual wrenching part. It's a bunch of 10 bolts that are gonna be taken off, and then we will go from there.
A few inches later.
All right, so ended up fixing our valve cover gasket, and now it's just a game of, did we hook up all the right vacuums? Did we do all that stuff right? We got our, what are these things called? What are those called?
Cables.
We got our cables hooked up for the throttle body. Put the intake on, mass airflow sensor is hooked up, and then we're working on one last vacuum line that doesn't fit correctly because it's got to go from right here to the intake inside right there on that little thingamabob or doohickey right there. But other than that, I mean, we're gonna be ready to at least try and fire it up again. Do one more. Okay.
Okay.
That's a start.
That's a smoke, but no.
Did it smoke?
There's a little bit.
Oh yeah, it did smoke. Look at that. Oh yeah, windshield wipers work great. That's a good start. Turn off the windshield wipers, son.
Now my fault they're on. Yeah, that's always a very little bit of gas. So.
That's a little bit of gas?
A little bit. I'll try it again with like incredibly little.
All right, one last one.
Okay.
Just give it a tad bit more. Just a tad bit more.
Tad bit more.
That's too loud.
Oh. Wake up the neighbors and call cops on us again.
It turns on.
Back at it.
We hooked up the last radiator
Let's
hose.
see how much I can spill.
Don't spill. This is a new motor. New motor. Who dis? Firing up Winchers. Everything hooked up. Judas Priest is playing. Smells like burnt oil. Let's get it. Let's fire up. 1, 2, 3. Primed. Fuel pump is on. Let's go. That's a lot better. Okay, so we're gonna call a wrap on today. Really good progress. We went from a motor that just turned over to now a motor that idles, and you could probably give it around maybe 1500 RPM before it starts to cut power. Definitely have to take it to the exhaust shop now, and then I have some coolant lines, or not coolant lines, but some radiator trans cooler lines to wrap up over here, and then there's some fuel lines that are disconnected over there. So gonna do all that tomorrow, strap down the battery, and then we're probably gonna take it to the exhaust shop, get that taken care of, and then from there I can start diagnosing the rest of these vacuum lines so that it runs really idle, really good, and then I can start to give it some good gas. But we let it idle for about 20 minutes, let the radiator get hot, didn't really overheat, stayed steady, and didn't really leak much. It leaked a little bit, but we don't know if that was residual or not. But very good stuff. We're gonna continue tomorrow. Let's get it. All right, here we are. Next morning, we did a couple more things. What did we do, Austin? I forgot. Oh, there's some brake line, or some fuel lines, return lines that I hooked up over there. And then we did our trans line, which is down there. So that one's taken care of. So theoretically, we are gonna try and move this thing under its own power for the first time in a year and a half. Long time. This is a big monumentous a moment in the Dirt Nation of history. By the way, we're working on the Tacoma. That's a fucking disaster. Disaster. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's important. That's an important step.
As long as Judas Priest works.
You're right. You're right. I see. A truly momentous moment right there.
Making something over there.
It didn't shift. Or it's going into neutral, but it's not going into drive.
Not going into drive. Is your shift linkage just messed up and drive is like,
I don't know,
in the wrong spot?
No, it's connected. That's connected. Vic, what do you think?
What? It's not moving?
It's just not shifting.
This wasn't shifting.
It'll go into neutral, but it's not going into drive. I mean, I can hear the linkage.
Yeah. Boy, that shifter's loose, huh? You did hook up the torque converter, didn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be a bitch.
All right, engine swaps 101. Fernando, Jaime, I love you guys. You guys are the best. I'm gonna give you a pass on this because y'all didn't hook up the goddamn torque converter to the flex plate. And guess what? Now when you put it in drive or reverse, it just spins freely, as free as America. Anyways, looks like we found our bolts. This is the torque converter from the stock one. These motherfuckers, you have to put those in and bolt that in one at a time. So there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This truck's gonna move under its own power today. I'm gonna make sure of that. God damn it, that's freaking retarded. Ugh. Good stuff. Torque converter's hooked up. Let's see what other problems we can run into.
Yeah.
Austin, camera duty.
Engage snorkel.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, what is that?
Oh, that's
smoldering battery that I warned you about.
yeah. Yeah, just
Remember I said, like,
Yeah, so we had to do some sketchy stuff just to hold the battery down.
Make sure you don't.
No problem. Yeah, don't want to weld the radiator again. You see that?
here.
Yeah, there. Weld the radiator, no problem. I am on the path of stupidity, continuing stupidity. really accelerate?
I can tell. Yeah. Your passenger front.
Is it all fucked up?
When you were turning one way, it was kind of one way. When you turn the other way, it was kind of the other way.
So it's loose. Now, since we've last left off, quite a few things have happened. So, last you guys saw, the truck was movable. It was still running on headers, didn't particularly shift very well, didn't run very well. There was a lot of things to work out and everything like that. First thing we did is I towed it to a local muffler shop, had an exhaust made. So we did 100% straight pipe, no cats, no muffler, no crossover pipe on the engine. So it was like 100% straight pipe, which made it very, very loud.
GoPro?
Which I'm okay with it being loud. That was, that wasn't a problem because it is, a trail rig and everything like that. More on that in a second. Now, while I was at the muffler shop, it developed a fuel leak issue, which I don't know where that came from. I mean, obviously the engine's old. The fuel injectors, we ended up reusing them. Didn't change the O-rings, we didn't change anything. We just threw them back in. So that was the next thing we had to address, as well as the coolant leak. So we still had a coolant leak from the back of the engine. So we proceeded to take it apart. So me and Flacco ended up taking it apart on probably like 3 or 4 days ago. Tore it apart, discovered why it was leaking coolant. Now, it was leaking coolant because, first of all, we reused the top intake gaskets that connect to the heads. Obviously, you shouldn't do that. When I was first rebuilding this motor, doing it on a budget, and I did what I did. I tried copper spray and cleaning it and everything like that. Didn't work, so it was still leaking. And then we missed 2 coolant lines that connect to each other on the intake manifold. So got those connected, and then we started putting it back together with new fuel injectors, same fuel rail and everything like that. Put it all back together, and guess what? Still leaking fuel. So after that, I proceeded to take it apart myself again the next day to address the fuel leak, because it wasn't leaking coolant anymore. It was just leaking the fuel. So took it apart. I replaced all the O-rings on the new fuel injectors, put it back together carefully. I ended up just using some spit shine on the O-rings to lube them up a little bit as they set into the fuel rail. And then that ended up fixing that issue to where it wasn't leaking fuel anymore. So at that point, truck fired up just fine. Turns out I ended up switching 2 spark plug wires, so it was running like shit. Swapped them back. Now the truck's running just fine, which brings us to this. As you guys can see, I'm actually driving Winchers on the street now. It is presumably working just fine. We're gonna see. This is gonna be our first time onto a actual street. So now I have a running truck. Very good. Drove it to the gas station, was able to get gas under its own power. That was all good. A couple other things that we had to address. First of all, brakes. Only the front brakes work right now. I mean, it's been like that for a while, but that's something that we're gonna have to still take care of on the truck. And the second thing was the noise. Now, I didn't mind the straight pipe, but what did it for me was the fact that every single wear that I drove with this thing, it was setting off car alarms because it was so freaking loud. And if it was like Chevy small block loud and sounding nice like that, cool. But it didn't sound like that. It sounded like, the best thing I can compare it to is a shitty EcoBoost motor or exhaust, like without a turbo. It sounded like a bad Raptor with a bad turbo. Like, it just did not sound too good. It was loud, sounded nice at times. If you open it up, it sounded pretty cool, but it was just too loud. I start it and it sets off car alarms. I'm driving by and it's setting off car alarms in the neighborhood. It was just too much. So took it back to the muffler shop. and got a new muffler put on. Which brings us to where we are about right now, addressing the coolant issue. So it's not cycling coolant right now. There's either a plug in the system or the thermostat's not opening or something like that. That is what we're at right now, is having to address that. I already took off the fan because I'm gonna get started on this coolant thing, which we'll do right now. But just so you guys can see where we're at with this, fire it up for a second. The exhaust sounds kind of decent. Oh, by the way, I put the Tacoma wheels on it, so that's cool. Old school Tacoma wheels. It's got Thunderers now, so I can't complain about that. You can hear it. It runs and idles just fine. It sounds good. I mean, it sounds good to me. A lot better than it did about a week ago. I picked up some new coolant because in the first place I put green in. Toyotas, you're not supposed to put green, but that was what I had, so I bought some of the red that you're supposed to use for Toyotas. Bought 2 of those. I got the pre-diluted one, and then I got some of this. This is the Red Devil 3-in-1 radiator flush with oil degreaser. So this is going to be my attempt to clean out the rust or whatever blockages we have going on. A couple different opinions from other people. Some think that the thermostat's not opening because of the rust. Some think that the block is clogged, and some think the radiator is clogged. I mean, the radiator, I did buy it brand new in 2017, so I mean, I feel like it shouldn't be clogged, but I mean, who knows at this point. So I'm going to start with tearing off the thermostat, and I'm going to see how much rust comes out of there. Oh yeah. I mean, there's definitely rust. Made more of a mess than I wanted to, but there wasn't that much actual antifreeze in there, so I'm gonna rinse all this away and then go from there. This will be a good start. I'm gonna reconnect down there the thermostat housing using some of this gasket maker, and then reconnect everything else, put water and cleaner in our system, and then I'm gonna run it for a good while and see if that can help flush out some of the rust or whatever's blocking or not letting this thermostat do its job, because as of right now, how it seems to me, the thermostat's not opening, and that's a problem. Okay, time to throw this stuff in with just tap water or garden hose water. So we're gonna start with this stuff. This has been like the best worst project ever. I'm learning a lot about working on cars, but it's also a headache because I'm not too good at it. All right. All right, I think it's done burping for now. Looking pretty good. So I'm gonna go take it for a test drive. Me and Sonny Boy, all alone on the road again. I'm gonna put the radiator cap back on, fill it up with some gas. We're gonna put some seafoam in it too, and then just go drive around, make sure it doesn't overheat, and then run the system for about an hour and a half, and then flush it out, and then put brand new coolant. Ready to go, Sonny? Yeah. Awesome. Okay, got maybe about 10-15 miles out of the way. Let's do a temperature check. It's not overheating. Holy crap, I am happy. It's still got coolant. I mean, it's not wet. Yeah, still got coolant. This is very good news. Very, very good news. It's doing pretty good so far. I found that with the re-gear and the motor, it has quite a bit of pickup at low speeds, which is good. Low end torque, I like seeing that. High speed, I can't really hear the motor too well. I got to get the tack fixed so I can see what my RPMs are looking like with my speed. But max speed, I was going around 60, 65 before I started to hear the engine scream a little bit. So either that's just due to the 488s, or I got to double check to make sure it's shifting into, I think, all 5 gears. I think this is a 5-speed because it is automatic. So yeah, go ahead and crush me for getting an automatic instead of a manual. Hey, guys, it is what it is. Heading back to the house, we're gonna smash on it a little bit, just to give it a little bit of a stress. We'll see what happens. All right, so smashed on it pretty good all the way home from Fontana. About 25-30 miles. I was going about 75, 70 the whole time, so let's see if it overheated. Oh my God, it didn't. Actually, yeah, it did. Yeah, it did overheat. Okay, got a little hot. Oh yeah. All right, good to know. So I did push it to its limits a little bit. I mean, it's not incredibly hot, but it got a little hot. Okay, now she's cooled down a little bit, as far as I know. We're gonna go ahead and open this slowly. Started draining the radiator. I mean, I guess this is some good news. I don't know if it's good or bad, but what I put in the radiator was clear, which means it pulled a bunch of rust out of there. That's why it's kind of brown there. So I'm gonna take off the fan, and then we'll do the thermostat housing down there, pull that off. So still coming out brown down there. So I'm gonna keep doing this till the water comes through clear. You can see down here, it's still fairly brown coming out. Actually, it's starting to get cleared up a little bit. So we'll stop it and then go from there. All right, so finally found a thermostat that works. So now we're just gonna get this sucker installed and then hopefully not run into any more issues, but no promises. Everything's hooked up. Now we're gonna start putting in some Toyota Red coolant. So you wanna get the red one, don't get the green one.
Eventually.
Okay, so I may have made a very costly mistake. I'm gonna find out in about 10 to 15 minutes here. As you can see, the street's kind of at an angle. So when I was filling up the reservoir, or when I was filling up the radiator, once the radiator got full, the water wasn't going into the block, and I did start the motor and it was running for a few minutes. I saw it start to overheat. Saw smoke coming out of here. The only thing I'm worried about is if it was exhaust gas. If it's exhaust gas, then I blew the head gasket. I really hope that didn't happen. But we'll find out soon. You can hear by the worry in my voice that I really hope I didn't f this up. If that's the case, then another 8 months she'll sit. I really hope not. I don't know. Update soon. Let's get it. All right, here we are working on it again. Leaking fuel again. Can't burp the again. So I've enlisted another subject. welcome George. George is like the 18th person to work on this. My truck's a true she's a girl. She's the lady of the night. She's the harlot of harlots. All right, we're gonna get started. Gotta take this off because fuel injectors are leaking, so gotta address that. And then we gotta make sure that it doesn't have a blown head gasket. Now the good thing is, I don't think it's lost any coolant. Maybe a little bit.
That's fine. We need it anyways to be low.
Well, I know, but it worries me that it lost coolant.
Oh,
It was full.
should be all right.
Back at it! It's back together. I don't think it's leaking fuel anymore. I guess we'll find out. But Mad Scientist George is gonna put the test kit. Hopefully, the head gasket's not blown, because if it is, I'm gonna lose my mind. So, let's get it. So if it mixes with exhaust gas, it'll change colors? Is that what it does?
Yeah, it'll change to like a green. Green is all right, but yellow is like, yeah, it's done.
What does green mean?
Green, it'll have a little bit of exhaust inside, but
It's not like
it's not like fully cooked up. But if it stays blue like this, you're fine. But usually once like you give it a couple pumps, if it turns yellow, it'll turn yellow immediately if your head gasket is blown.
Thank God. Jesus Christ.
No, your head gasket's good. And you don't have a crack in the block or the head, so you're good.
So quick update, since we're out of things to do, we're gonna replace it with a new radiator, which is right there. So we're currently working on taking that out. Other than that, I don't know what else we could replace on this. We checked the head, we checked everything. Thermostat's new, water pump's new. Everything to do with the cooling system is brand new, except for this radiator. This radiator was the one that blew up with Winchers, so maybe that's what blew it up in the first place. So we'll find out, won't we? Old radiator's out. We're gonna put this new one in. This is just a stock replacement. Got everything that you need. And I mean, it's 4 bolts, and then you hook up the transmission lines in the upper and lower radiator hose. You guys don't need to see how to do that. Let's get it. Well, all right, here we go.
Really personally too. She takes it really personally too, because that day that he.
All right, well, thermostat still hasn't opened, but I mean, the thermostat is at 180 degrees, so we think it's just not getting hot enough to actually open up. So what we're gonna do tomorrow is I'm gonna test drive it. I'm gonna take it to work, and then if everything is fine, it doesn't overheat under normal driving conditions, then we'll finally be able to wrap up this video and this fucking 3/4 swap that's been going on for about 9 months. So stay tuned tomorrow. Big shout out to George for being the 57th person that has worked on Winchers.
This is crazy.
See you later. All right, welcome to the next day. Drove Winchers to work, so I'm out and about at my job right now. Now, truck's working just fine. I mean, it hasn't gotten really up to temp to open that thermostat yet, but it's not hot outside. And I kind of been babying it, just driving it. I mean, driving kind of normal, so nothing too big of a deal. But we're gonna fire it up. Man, it flies. It freaking goes. Same deal. Truck's doing fine. Why am I pointing at that? None of that works. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't overheated all day. Then again, I just drive it around town, and that's about it. So we'll wrap up at home, assuming nothing else happens on the way back on the freeway or anything. But beautiful day. Truck's working great. It's a mess in here. Yep. Okay, just made it home. Let's see if it overheated. I really hope it didn't. Oh, thank God it didn't. Let's check the coolant. It did suck some coolant up, but it didn't overheat. Surface temperature of the radiator, 171. So it's at operating temperature. That's 168. That's pretty hot. It is pretty hot. Let's check lower radiator hose, 104. It's 155 where the thermostat is. I mean, the thermostat doesn't open until 180, so as soon as it starts to get really hot, theoretically that thermostat's going to open up, and then it's going to bring you a bunch of cool coolant to cool off the radiator and then the rest of the system. I think that's pretty much how it would be, right? So I mean, I'd say it's successful. It didn't overheat. It's hot, but the fucking motor runs hot. It's just how it is. All right. I think this is good news. This will pass. So there's your flex test. Small little curb. Tires about off the floor right now. It's already off the floor. So we don't have too much flex with this truck. This kind of stuff. All right, as you guys saw, we did a quick flex test. I tested out 4x4, 4 low. All that stuff works just fine, so not too worried about that. Now flex, this truck has no flex. This is gonna be fun crawling obstacles with this because, like I said, it has virtually zero flex. It still has a sway bar on there, so we'll probably take off the sway bar. But anyways, drove it around all day today at work. Didn't get the thermostat to open, but I mean, it didn't get hot enough to open, so it's like, hey, your truck's not running hot enough to overheat, so it shouldn't be a problem. So this is something that I'll continue to monitor as I got to get in there and hook up more gauges. You know, I don't have an oil pressure gauge right now. I don't have, like, the only one that works is gas, and even the gas is inaccurate. So there's some work to do on my part. But for now, I mean, the truck doesn't overheat. I was driving around at work all day long today. Didn't really have any issues. I was on the highway. Didn't really see a problem. So with all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and call this a wrap. We have a 3.4 swapped Toyota pickup. It's good to go. So we can finish up this video after a very, very, very long time. Now, this is now a running, driving project. We have a lot of things to do on it. First and foremost, we're gonna make sure the engine, the transmission, and everything are solid. So look forward to, in future videos, we're gonna be taking it out to Gorman. We're gonna take it out to, you know, Cleghorn. We're gonna take it to, you know, Pile of Rock and all these other places. All the simpler trails, the ones that we know very, very well. We're gonna be taking it out there, putting this through its paces, and we're gonna see how well it crawls as is. I mean, it should be able to do pretty fine. It's got 488 gears already. It's got the mud terrains. You know, it's got the old Tacoma wheels with the Thunderers, and it is front locked. So I don't see why I wouldn't be able to crawl at least some stuff. Obviously, we're gonna have to baby it. There's gonna be some things to work through, obviously. Now, as for the future, there is a lot of things planned for this truck. I mean, you guys know how it is with Toyotas. There is a laundry list of things that you should do, can do, will do, everything in between. Straight axle swaps, transfer cases, freaking all that stuff. Before we end the video, what I'm gonna do is just go over briefly, for those of you that are just here looking for information about the swap, I'm gonna go over what we have, what we swapped in, and what we kept, and everything in between. So, motor itself, it's a 3.4 5VZE from a 1996 4Runner 2-wheel drive. What we ended up using from the 3.0, which was the original motor in here: fan clutch, alternator, starter, transmission, transfer case, which means drive shafts and everything like that are all hooked up. It's all the stock stuff, stock battery, stock radiator. All that stuff came from the 3.0. Now you can see here, we eliminated quite a few things. You know, evap system goes over here, ABS and cruise control and all that. That's all been eliminated. It's literally just the motor. We have a fuse box, a battery, and a radiator, and that's all we run. And honestly, that's all you really need. Now, when it comes to wiring, you know, like I said before, that was taken care of by Michael, who he owns his own fabrication company, and he has his own Toyota pickup, or it's a 4Runner actually, that he swapped a 3.4 into. So he was already familiar with the wiring. He's a good mechanic, he knows what he's doing, so he helped us with that, did a huge favor for us. So if you guys are interested in getting some work done, whether it be fabrication or any kind of mechanic work like that, definitely hit him up. We'll link him below so you guys can check him out. But as for the wiring itself, ECU was from a 97 T100, and that was a 2-wheel drive automatic as well. And it's recommended, if you're using an automatic, to have a T100 ECU so that the transmission will shift correctly. I don't know why, but that's just what it asked for. Now, other than Michael, there is so many other people throughout this video that helped us complete this swap. I mean, I'm gonna start to name people off my head, and as I miss people, I'll pop them in right here. But off the top of my head: Slim, George, Fernando, Jaime, D-Tech. Let's see, we had Mark Jr., Thick Jr., Flaco. The sheriff was helping out for a little bit. We're at 10 so far. Who else? Plumber came over. The other George came over. Obviously Michael himself. And then, yeah, I worked on it. So that's 14. Who am I missing? Anyways, there are so many people that helped out with this build, plus the crazy amounts of people that just offered their knowledge and offered their support to try and get this thing done, because it sat for a long time and I was very sad, but we got it taken care of, and now your boy's pretty happy. Now to wrap up this video that has taken so long. I think we're started in early March. We're now wrapping up and early December. So 9, maybe 10 months. I mean, just to give you a visual, the Tacoma looked like this when we started, and now the Tacoma looks like this. That's a big difference. A lot of things have happened. It's been a very, very busy 2020. It's been a crazy 2020. But during this time, we're able to get a 5VZE 3.4, one of the best Toyota motors ever, swapped in to our 88 pickup. We're all done here. I want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe channels, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and Patreon. You can all hit us up for shirts at dirtnationoffroad@gmail.com. If you guys have any questions about the swap, definitely comment below. If you have any recommendations on future upgrades for Winchers or things you want to see, definitely comment below. Looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you for everything. We'll see you again next time.